For more information on my programs, please visit masajadi.com. That's MASSAJADY.com.
Hello, this is Masati. Welcome to my podcast, Exponential Intelligence. This is episode 121, School Shootings. If you haven't taken a look at the website yet, masajadi.com, that's MASSAJADY.com. A lot of fantastic events, life transformational events coming up for us, for you guys to take advantage of so you can have that extraordinary life, whether it's online, and then a lot of live events. I'll be doing a world tour this year, so we'll be in a lot of places throughout the world. So take a look at the website for the list of events that might be beneficial for you to have that extraordinary life. All right, guys, let's move on to our topic here. Normally I really don't, get into the wherewithal, the logistics of issues that go on, like school shootings, what happened in Las Vegas, what happened in Florida or other areas throughout the world. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and discuss it a little bit, and then most importantly, do a meta healing. For those individuals who've been affected by it. And again, like I said, who knows why tragedies like this happen. I believe that obviously there's a deeper cause on why things happen like this. If we were all awakened, well, a lot of things, a lot of the strife that we see in this world wouldn't happen. But as I predicted, a year or so ago, as these pure frequency wash through the earth, some of the toxins that come through, have to work its way up and out of our system, whether it is at a physical system, where you guys, do the 21 days or meta healings or whatever that you do with me, and then you go through sort of a spiritual detox, or even, a physical detox that you go through as your life transforms to shift into that higher gear of life. The same thing with your community, the same thing with, the states, the countries, and the world. Everything has to go through, this process of detox, again, washing away the grunge that's causing these issues. But as it washes away, obviously we're going to feel, that grunge or that detox in us a bit more as it comes up to the surface, so we can actually realize and understand why those things happen. And when those things happen to an extreme, well, maybe that's what we need for us to awaken. Let me give you an example on what I mean. When I was a little kid, we'd play, we'd watch a Western movie, and my brothers, we'd all get together, we'd play around, we'd be pretending that we're fist fighting and all that. It was all fun, and then it got rougher, and then rougher, and then rougher, and then, this one time, one of my brothers punched my other brother straight into the nose, and couldn't stop the bleeding, and it bled, and I remember it's just like a bowl of blood, and no matter what we did, it wouldn't stop. Finally, my dad came home. He's a doctor, and helped him out. But when that happened, it was like this dead silence that came through, and it's like, oh shit, we went way too far. And then after that, we still played around, but again, we kept it in peace, we kept it in check. Same thing with the world. You'll see, you'll see that a lot of things, distortions, destructions, that'll come through, and it might get a bit more, but for the overall, it's not that the world is getting worse. It's actually the world is bringing out its minutia that has always been deep inside. Now it's coming out to the surface. As it comes out to the surface, and it's not just school shootings, you'll see the stench that it's causing, causing humanity to suffer in. Other things, other situations come out as well, again to push us through this process, where you'll get, say, extreme racism again, and it's not just, say, you'll get white supremacists, you'll get, the blacks or the Chinese or whatever color that you are, against everybody else, and vice versa. It's not one way or the other. It's because of acts. This is why, say, our country, this is why our nation, our world, this is why our city, this is why our local area, this is why our family is suffering. It's always something outside of us, right? Something that we can, say, point a finger at. By the way, that's how they get the voting public to vote for a war. If you've studied your history, it was all, say, some political propaganda, and I do call it propaganda because it was not real facts, that they instigated, and then everybody gets together, and then, well, we have to defend ourselves, right? Look at 9/11. Whether it's true or not doesn't really matter. Again, it brought the nation together, right? In a smaller situation, even like at a family scale, something happens, everybody pulls together, and then we fight for a cause. Cause against cancer, cause against drugs, the war on this, the war on that. But if you've noticed, those wars never really end. They always, say, perpetuate into bigger and bigger wars. Logistically or statistically, back in the day, there was I think 1 out of 10 people having cancer. Now it's, say, 1 out of 2. So this war, say, against the school shooting, and you'll see, individuals who are against guns, and then who are individuals who are for guns to protect. That's not the point. The logistics just is not the point. We've gone through it for thousands of years. There's tons of laws that have been passed for what? Protecting us. And then why does it still happen? We have to go to a deeper level. We have to, just like us, just like in our physical life, if you've done the process, again, the 21 days or whatever else, you go through the process, you start to realize, gosh, it's not the pattern. It's not what I'm doing logistically or at a physical level that's going to solve these issues, whether it's at a personal level or at a grander scale, the humanity level, again, all of us combined. It's not the physicalness. So these forces are coming through to awaken us to go, oh, it's something much deeper. It's the programs that are running deep within us that we have to resolve. Sometimes it takes a lot of pressure, like my brother example, right? An awakening, it's like, we've gone way too far this time. And as humanity, I think we're going to hit that point sooner than later, and then people will start to awaken. It's like a mass awakening for individuals, and then those individuals, what I'm talking about is, say, the meek in religious terms, or your normal everyday citizen, right? That gets guided by government systems or bosses or spouses or whoever. We all get to awaken. Then we take back our power, Not just like, okay, you guys all messed up, I'm taking back my power. No, this isn't like an awakening to a higher level of standard, because most individuals, and let me just talk about that, when people take back their power, okay, usually it's the exact same pattern that they're running against their opponents. It's just the flip of it. So when people say, okay, I'm going to take back my power and do something about it, again, it's the same program. It's the same conscious mind. It's the same level of thought. And that's why those things never get resolved. It just gets worse. Okay? This awakening that I'm talking about is where people take back their power, but their power is not, say, pulling in or reining in, their physicalness. Okay? They're not. It's where they're not getting aggressive, where they're not going, okay, I've had enough of this shit. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I don't know, buy guns or not buy guns, or again, whatever it might be. This is like when I say take back their power, they awaken to a higher level. It's like, oh, wait a second. Something just happened. Right? Some extreme event happens. It happens all the time in smaller scales, by the way. Something happens. Boom, your spirit comes in. You start to awaken. You start to see your power, the grandness that you are in your physical form. That's the mental mindset. That's the power that I'm talking about. When you understand the true reality that you are, again, spirit having a physical experience, a human experience here, well, that's what happens. That's when great things, again, true power comes in. And then there's no need for sacrifices. There's no need for destruction. There's no need for oppression. There's no need for control. So, again, it's a great opportunity. But do we have to suffer, or could there be a faster way? Obviously, there is a faster way. And this is what this meta healing that I'll be working on. And yes, it's going to be about the school shootings. So let's talk about that. But then all the other strife, school shootings and situations like that, of that nature, whether it's at school or at a public park or whatever it might be, to help start people awakening to a higher level where, well, it minimizes the need for this intensity. Okay? Let me just say one more point. This happens to a lot of people at a singular level, or at a one individual level. There are individuals who awaken rather fast, and there's no need for all this destruction. There's no need for these shootings. And then there are those individuals who are fearful, who are controlled or controlling. Okay? The reason why these school shootings and all this other stuff that's going to be is happening and then continuing to happen is because a lot of fear, a lot of control, or being controlled starts out for those types of groups. And then at the individual level, it takes a longer to, say, shift or awaken into a higher form, your spirit body, because they hold on to that programming. And sadly to say, what happens is that the more extreme physical experience has to happen, right? whether it's at a physical, individual level, or at a group level, or at a humanity level. An extreme situation has to happen where that disconnect, or their reality, right? Their false reality gets pulled out of their hands, because again, they're either afraid to let it go, they're controlling, because if they did let it go, they'd lose their power, or being controlled. And again, that's why issues, school shootings, or whatever else that we have. So let's jump into that meta healing. And again, a lot of new people, so welcome as I scan future listeners here. For those individuals who are new, meta healing is where I guide you into a deep state of meditation, quicker, faster than your normal hypnosis, meditation, yoga, NLP, and all those things that we do to relax and come into this moment. Very different than any of those as well. And then I work on you at your source code, or some of you know it as your spirit. So whether you're sitting or standing or lying down, notice what you've chosen. If you're driving, just be mindful, or stop if you're listening to this, especially if you're sensitive. Strong deep breath in again. Again, inhaling through the nose, holding, and then slowly exhaling. Connecting to the group dynamics, right? The mastermind, individuals listening to this podcast, a lot of people listening. It creates momentum because of the strength in numbers. That momentum can break down paradigms, break down those walls, free us from those shackles that we see humanity as. And then another confident, strong breath in again. Again, inhaling through the nose, holding, releasing, letting go. Asking ourselves, how do I connect to pure source even stronger? That question again, how do I connect to pure source even stronger? It's nothing religious or spiritual or anything like that. You're asking yourself, how do I become my limitless self? If you are of a faith or a practice, it'll define your faith and practice, or redefine it to its original form, so it'll actually benefit you. As you settle in, notice it doesn't take you that long to get into those comfortable states. You may ask how and why that happened. You may ask, it's never happened before for some of you who's never happened before. So what is that frequency that I generate for you? It is part of you, nothing to do with me. I just awaken it within you. Noticing your breath, noticing your throat, noticing your collarbone, noticing your chest, noticing your sternum, the bone that connects your ribs together in front. So continue to work on you. That means it's just generating frequencies. Help you awaken to your higher self. It'll awaken your healing abilities to bring you into that abundance that you're looking for. Health, wealth, relationships. And in this case, generating frequency to help awaken others around you. Tapping in, we always do say prayers for this, prayers for that. In this scenario, I'm not going to do that. Again, that's not my gig. We can talk about that. You may even drop us a line on why. But what I am going to do is generate frequencies for those people listening in to awaken to a higher level. So we take a deep breath in again, noticing your chest, the front half, going deeper into your lungs, right? The front part of your lungs, your mid-lungs, whole chest area, right through the back. So noticing your chest from the front half, from your all the way through the back, from the collarbone and above your solar plex, right where the ribs connect. So that area, including your arms. All you have to do, consciously pay attention as I generate frequencies. To clarify the statement that I said just a few seconds ago. Again, I'm not going to work on the families or the one. I'll work on the ones who've crossed over. Just help them awaken. Might sound kind of cold, not working on the families. Again, it's not my place, and talk about that some other time. However, I will generate frequencies for those individuals who are listening in on the podcast. So what will that do? Since we are all interconnected, this is where we feel as we're all one. Right? It's like a computer network system. All humans, living or dead, connected. So as I continue to work on you and explain, so what that means is that we all share a thread of frequency, whether it's pronounced or deeply hidden in us, that creates issues like a mass murder, somebody that destroys, or a country that destroys, or whatever else that you have. Again, all those programs exist within each one of us, just at different levels. So as we note our breath, inhaling through the nose nice and slow, holding it, just holding it. Releasing, if you'd like, or hold it even more. And noticing the chest area as it expands, as it contracts. Noticing the physicalness, the inhalation, the air through your nose, the coolness of the air, the warmth of your breath as you exhale. As we go even deeper into the psyche of humanity, where we can pull out those strands or programs that exist within all of us at some level, pull it out, delete it. Again, helping you awaken to that program so we can delete it. So I help you delete it. That's my point. So why is that so important as I continue to generate those frequencies to help you shift? How does that help? As you take another pure breath in, again, nice and deep, nice and slow. Whenever you're ready, releasing. Imagine a couple million listeners on this podcast. So imagine a couple million people that do not run those programs. Even if it's dormant, it just doesn't exist in us. There's no such thing as a dormant program. There's no such thing as hiding all those lies that we have inside of us. That's another subject. So what EI does again is exponential intelligence. It helps us eliminate, say, the darkness of humanity in this case. So 2 million people or so are now running programs, are now void of those programs. So all you void, you interact with your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors, your associates. And this is how communication happens at a super conscious level, your spirit level. They pick up on it. They see that there's something brighter in you. You're more efficient. They sense that. Just like you guys do at an individual level. When you transform, the people around you see it. And so we're all conditioned for efficiency as we take a deep breath in. Continue to work on you. Again, noticing your spine from the top of your spine down to your mid-back where your ribs connect, and then forward in just the chest area. Those individuals that you connect with, now imagine them going, hey, he's more efficient than I am. It's a product of evolution. We're all inherently programmed to be more efficient. Again, evolution. You change those individuals, and then they change those individuals that they connect with. So although, as you note your chest, might not have an immediate effect, and maybe it would. Who knows? People shift rather dramatically with exponential intelligence. Those who are awakened, willing to let go. You can imagine that pattern not running in any human, living or dead. Just does not exist anymore. And nobody can run that pattern. Nobody can even get that idea because that concept that may have been needed for whatever reason is not needed anymore. Again, we just can't access those programs. As a result, no more sacrifices have to be made. Noting your breath. Work on you in silence for a few minutes. As you pay attention, this time from your solar plex, so your upper half, all the way up to the top of your head, for those advanced, and noticing your spirit body around you. Just noting your breath. For those who can continue on, highly recommended. I'll go ahead and leave you in this space for as long as you wish. Again, you'll still be connected to the mastermind. For many, it might feel that I'm still working on you. As a note, that's actually your higher spirit, your awakened spirit. Whenever you're ready to come out, notice your breath, open your eyes, look at something inanimate, the ceiling, the floor, to keep you intact in the present moment. Thanks for being on the podcast. Notice what you notice. When you get good enough, notice the details of what you're noticing.
For more information on my programs, please visit masajadi.com. That's MASSAJADY.com.